Hello, hello, and welcome to a new training, a new visibility training. Today, we're going to discuss how to do collaborations when you are an introvert and what it means really to do collaborations. Because I know sometimes we have maybe an idea of what it could look like, what it should look like, and it's not always accurate. So, I'm going to make sure that you now have an accurate picture and that you know what next step is right for you in this season of your business, in this season of your life. So let me share my screen with you first, like this. Okay, so if you missed the first training, no problem. You can go back to that either on Substack or on the podcast or in our membership area. It's a series of trainings on visibility for the highly sensitive women in business, and we have a new training every month, and I'm trying to keep them short, around 15 to 20 minutes. And so today, like I said, how to do collaborations when you are an introvert. Now, the first thing that I'd like to discuss is the misconceptions around collaborations, because we often feel, we often think, we often believe that collaborations has to be something big, and therefore it's scary. Or collaborating means creating a product with someone else, or collaborating mean exchanging visibility or services, or if I share your thing with my audience, then you share my thing with your audience, like it's an immediate exchange. And also that it gives immediate results. So let me break these myths with you real quick. But first, little story time, because why I know about these myths, because of course they were in my head before, right? So I started my first business, it was 10 years ago, a bit less than 10 years ago. It was in 2017. And, you know, there are lots of mm, things that we hear about what we should do in business in order to succeed. The first thing we hear is you need to build an email list. Then you hear that you need visibility and you need collaborations, but you don't really know what that means. And so you're going to listen to some people's advice, or you're going to see what other people do. And it's not always clear that you can actually go your own way and it doesn't have to be this thing. So for me, I thought collaborating means creating something big, like it has to be a live workshop or a live event that we co-create and co-host, and you bring your audience, you bring your big audience, and I bring my big audience. But since I don't have a big audience yet, I can't really do that. Or I don't feel comfortable teaching a workshop, so I can't do that. Or I will not find someone that has exactly the same audience or niche as me, so I can't collaborate. Or I'm not an expert to teach anything. Anyways, we have lots of blockages there. But that's the first thing, is that collaborating does not mean that you have to make something big. Collaborating can be very small, can be done daily, can be done in subtle ways that won't cost you time or energy. Of course, there are also some collaboration ideas that are going to take more time and more commitment, but it doesn't always have to be these things, and you don't always have to go there right away. So it can be small and it can be easy. The second thing, it's a product that we create together. And here, oh my God, how did I get it wrong? You have no idea. I really believed it was that. Like, collaborating is creating a workshop together, like I mentioned, or it's creating a product together, or it's creating a course together. Um, in my collaborating days with my first business, Bulle de Français, I co created a course to teach mindfulness to teachers. which has never seen the day of light, but it was entirely scripted. And I did that in a collaboration. And we met about twice a month, 2 or 3 times a month, every Friday for 1 hour, an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours to work on this course that we then never sold because I think we were both pressured that we needed to collaborate in order to be successful. We wanted to be successful. So we met because we were hanging out in the same groups and we thought, well, we have a lot in common. We might as well collaborate. But this person and I did not have the same audience. We weren't selling products that were nearly adjacent. It's just that I was teaching French through self development, and she was a self development coach through English, but she was also just a self development coach, full stop. So, already the kind of people that would be attracted to my brand wouldn't necessarily be attracted to hers because we have a language difference. Just a market difference, honestly. So we figured, well, we might as well do something for teachers, an audience that we had never spoken to, never tapped into, you know? So when we reached the time that the whole course was scripted and it was time to record it, we thought, but, you know, we're not going to sell it. Like, who are we going to sell it to? Are we just going to knock on every teacher's door and say, do you want my course for mindfulness? No, it was like a whole complete new business, was not aligned at all. And not the easiest way to start collaborating. I think, here what I want to share is that it's okay. I mean, maybe you want to co-create a course with someone and you have the perfect partner and you're thinking this is going to be amazing. We do the course together and then we share. We share the benefits. We share the profit. But that's a venture. It's a joint venture. It's like a co-creation, a joining of your business forces for something. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's also really not the first thing that you should do when you are creating more relationship or more visibility around your business. Yeah, not the first thing to do, definitely. But after this first mistake, I didn't stop. I continued persevering, and so I co-created a podcast that was never released. Just makes me laugh. I co-created a website because then we thought, oh, meeting with this English teacher that was teaching through self-development, and I'm a French teacher teaching through self-development. I'm also going to bring in the Spanish teacher who teaches through self-development, and together we can have this website, the three of us. But none of us wanted to actually have one business. We each wanted to keep our own. So this would just like add another business to the business. So that is not what collaboration has to look like at all. The third point is it has to be an immediate exchange, and absolutely not, because sometimes you can be in the right position to share the space with someone, to promote someone else's offer, to share their offer, to share the mic, to invite them on your podcast, for instance, to share visibility with them. And they might not be in a stage where they can do that back for you. And I think here what we need to remember is that it's a question of trust and karma a little bit, So be generous. The fact that if you open your space for other people and you feature them, you feature their work, maybe at some point in the future, they will do the same thing and then invite you. Maybe they won't. It's not the point. It's like in life. If you're generous with people, you do things for people. And at some point it gets back to you, but not always by the same person, right? So the fact of also sharing your space with someone else, sharing your audience with someone else, it costs you a bit of time, etc. But you also get into the habit of collaborating with people, of speaking with people, of networking, of being around other people and not being alone in your little